مضل له ومن يضلل فلا هادي له وأشهد أن لا إله إلا الله وحده لا شريك له وأشهد أن محمدا عبده ورسوله أما بعد. My respected brothers in the deen and sisters, Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
Wa alaikum assalam wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
Alhamdulillah, we thank Allah Azza wa Jalla who had prolonged our life up to this moment. We pray Allah Azza wa Jalla may He accept all of our ibadat in this month of Ramadan.
Amen.
Today being the 17th day of the month of Ramadan, 1445 years after the hijrah of our noble Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. Sisters, which correspond to the 27th day of March, year 2024. Today marks a historical event in the history of Islam. The 17th day of Ramadan, the first battle of Islam was launched. That is the Battle of Badr. And luckily, it coincides with the topic that we are looking at, Suratul Ahzab. Although we stopped in order to talk about the concept of jihad in Islam. The concept of jihad in Islam, it is the duty of the da'i or the du'at to defend Islam from misconceptions. And that is the reason why we have pick this topic, and hopefully inshallah we will finish it today and continue our Suratul Ahzab inshallah tomorrow, so that we will understand what jihad actually means in Islam. And from the discussion we've been treating, we've seen that jihad is legislated in Islam and it is going to be everlasting, irrespective of whatever the people are writing or saying regarding this concept in Islam. Irrespective of the fact that many people have shunned discussing this particular topic as a result of fear of being tagged whatsoever. But we are obligated to clarify the truth so that people will be able to stand upon bayina, upon guidance, so that whoever wants to stand will stand upon guidance, and whoever wants to misguide will misguide upon guidance. وَيَهْدِي مَنْ, so that Allah may guide whoever He wishes to guide, and He will guide you upon guidance. And وَيُهْلِكُ مَنْ هَلَكَ عَنْ بَيِّنَةٍ. So that is the reason why we are talking about it. Not because we want to go and start fighting tomorrow, but because so that we will know that this is legislated in our deen, and when it happens, this is what you must do. So that when you are enlightened, you will not begin to misbehave. Unlike what we see the ignorant fellows doing today in the name of Islam. In the name of Islam. And we are made to believe, unfortunately, that that is jihad in Islam. And this is not it. In most cases, the way people do it today is not the case. And they actually systematically bring this to the deen of Islam in order to make people to run away from Islam, to the point that even people begin to say, Muslims begin to say that there is nothing like jihad in Islam. Wallah, jihad remains forever and ever. Till Nabi Isa alayhi salam will be the last person to perform jihad against Dajjal. And he will be among the Muslim army. He will lead the Muslim army to victory against Dajjal. So those people who lies that there is no jihad, we are going to prove them today. We are going to prove them wrong, how jihad has been legislated in Islam. Yesterday we were talking about the stages of jihad. And we mentioned that we have already mentioned the fact that there are different types of jihad. There is jihad bil hujja wal bayan. There is jihad bil amwal, bazl al amwal, where you have to spend from your wealth. And there is that jihad where you have to physically engage the enemy. And I have told us the hikmah behind why Allah Azza wa Jalla legislated that. And yesterday we begin to mention the stages of jihad in the history of Islam, where we said the first jihad was jihad Makki, the jihad that happened in Makkah when Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam, when he announced to the people of Makkah to believe in La ilaha illallah. And we also mentioned yesterday the implication of that call, that the call to La ilaha illallah does not mean that they should just believe in the statement. It does not mean that they should just continue uttering the statement without applying the requirements of La ilaha illallah. And we mentioned yesterday that the requirement of La ilaha illallah is such that it came to abolish every other system and to establish the system of Allah on the earth. Which we gave an example yesterday, that assuming you go to the president of the country and you tell him that this system you are ruling your people with, it is not appropriate, it is not right, that is why we are not getting it right up to today. It's better we change this one. So it is not appropriate and it is not allowed for you to use these particular man-made laws to guide the people. But I have another one, which is the Quran, which is better than the one you have. So let us use this particular one. If you accept it, it will be good for you. Accept it, no problem. Allow me to call people to this particular one, while I will want people to run away from your own. And we mentioned yesterday that if that is the case, do you think that person will be left alone? And we all agreed yesterday that of course he will not be left alone. Then we said that if this person is now being arrested or hanged, who initiated the enmity? The answer was obvious. Is that not so? That was jihad. That is why we said that jihad laysa hujumiyan. It is not an offensive, wala difa'iyan, and it is not also what? Defensive. Now let's move on to the stage 2 of jihad in Islamic history. That is jihad al-hijri. He said, min samarati jihad in Nabi sallallahu alayhi wasallam al-fardi. From the fruit of the jihad of the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam on the individual note, when Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam was doing his jihad, only him, against the people of Makkah, he started calling people, say la ilaha illallah tuflihu, say la ilaha illallah, you will be successful. They refused to say la ilaha illallah because they understood that the implication of that will have to mean that they should drop all their idols in the Kaaba. They should smash it, then they should only worship Allah alone. They understood that. For that reason, they refused, and they were, instead of accepting the message of Allah, they were hurting his prophet. Then when the Prophet Islam persisted and he continued calling the people, Bada anna nas bada'u fi Makkah yadhuluna fil Islam. shay'an fa shay'an. People begin to enter Islam in Makkah. Small, small, little by little. Ibtida'an min as-Sadiq al-Akbar. The first person to accept Islam was Sayyidina Abu Bakr radiallahu anhu. Sahibu Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wasallam, the companion of the messenger, fil ghar, in the cave, while they were migrating from Makkah to Medina. Sayyidina Abu Bakr radiallahu anhu, he was the one with the Prophet sallallahu alayhi wasallam inside the cave. Walamma ra'at Quraysh hadha, when the Quraysh saw that people are now entering Islam based on the jihad of the Prophet sallallahu alayhi wasallam. So jihad, you see, for example, Zakir Naik, may Allah Azza wa Jalla preserve him. Zakir Naik is doing a very big jihad. With what? Bil Hujjah wal Bayan. He's doing jihad using proof and clarifying to people. You know how many thousands of people that has accepted Islam in the hand of Zakir Naik? Even though he never fight anybody. But that was jihad. So his jihad is yielding fruit, people begin to accept Islam. Just like the Prophet Islam, people begin to accept Islam. When this begin to happen, this was very difficult on them to swallow. It was difficult for them. They do not want people to accept your message. When people begin to accept your message of La ilaha illallah, they are not going to be comfortable with it, even though you did not disturb them, even though you did not force them to come and worship your own. But for the fact that you are getting in numbers, it is not what they want. What did they start doing? وَأَذَتُهُمْ The Quraysh, they begin to harm the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam. They were harming him in different ways. We don't want to mention the harm that was meted of the Prophet ﷺ. Perhaps you can read about the different harm that the Prophet ﷺ got as a result of preaching. So whoever wishes to follow that particular path today, you are going to be met with either similar of that. Look at Zakir Naik. May Allah Azza wa Jalla continue to protect him. His own country so hated him because the country he came from, they used to worship a cow. They believe that cow is their own creator. Then Zakir Naik was telling them that no, it is not cow, but rather it's who? Is Allah Azza wa Jal. When they now see that his dawah is gaining momentum, what did they do? They pursued him. They wanted even arresting him, so he had to run away from India. For the past how many years now, Zakir Naik cannot enter India again. Even when he was coming to Nigeria the other time, some of the enemies of Islam, they were raising concern that the authority of Nigeria should arrest Zakir Naik because he is a wanted person in where? In India. May Allah continue to protect him. And may Allah continue to protect all of the du'at who are upon the path of Allah Azza wa Jalla. No matter what the enemies of Islam are planning against them, may they never be successful. So Rasulullah ﷺ was in this condition where in daizin amarahum Rasulullah. At that particular moment, the Prophet ﷺ now commanded his companion Bil Hijrah to do hijrah, to move from their land, Ilal Habasha, to move from their land to Abyssinia, to Africa. Islam was coming to Africa in the very beginning. فَهَاجَرَ إِلَيْهَا طَائِفَةٌ مِنَ الْمُسْلِمِينَ. He said many of the Muslims, some group of Muslims, they now migrated to Abyssinia. وَفِيهِمْ ذُو نُورَيْنِ. Amongst the people who migrated was Zu Nurayn. Zu Nurayn, that is who? Sayyidina Usman ibn Affan. He is the in-law to the Prophet ﷺ. He married who? Ruqayya. And also who? Kulsum. He married two daughters of the Prophet ﷺ. That is why they call him what? Zu Nurayn, the possessor of two lights. The possessor of two lights. Which is the two lights? the two daughters of the Prophet sallallahu alayhi wasallam. Radiyallahu anhu. وزوجه رقية ريحانة رسول الله صلى الله عليه وسلم. He migrated together with his wife, who happened to be the daughter of the messenger. They both migrated to Africa. Right from Mecca, they migrated to Africa. Sallallahu alayhi wasallam. Summa ila al-Madinah Tayyiba. After some time, the Prophet sallallahu alayhi wasallam also commanded that some of them should migrate to Medina. It is a long story. The story of Hijrah is a long story that we will have to fix time to discuss Hijrah. What happened in the Hijrah? It was jihad. Ibtida'an bi Mus'ab bin Umayr radiyallahu anhu. The first person to migrate to Medina, who was the first envoy of Islam, is who? Mus'ab bin Umayr. Mus'ab bin Umayr was the first person to be sent from Mecca to Medina to go and preach first and make sure that that place is okay before the Prophet will now have to migrate. So he went there. Wantaha Nabi sallallahu alaihi wasallam, and Sayyidina Abu Bakr was the last person to migrate to Medina. This is another type of jihad. This type of jihad, jihadul hijri, ashaddu anwa'ul jihad, is the greatest jihad alladhi marra ala sahaba, that happened to the companions of the Prophet sallallahu alayhi wasallam. May Allah be pleased with all of the companions. It was so difficult for them, is huwa firaqu lil watan wal ahl wal mal wal ahbabi ila nas la ya'rifuna halahu. Because they have to separate from their country of origin. They have to separate from their family only for the sake of Islam. They have to separate from their wealth. Their wealth was confiscated in Mecca. They have to leave those whom they love in Mecca. And they are going to people, to a strange land that they do not even know their condition. وَإِلَى بَلَدٍ لَيْسَ فِيهِ أَنِيسَهُمْ أَيْ صَدِيقَهُمْ. And they are going to a city that they do not even know somebody there. No friend at all. May Allah Azza wa Jalla be pleased with all of them. Imagine as this dawah is going, then it now reaches a stage where we will now say, okay, since it has become like this, let all of us migrate. And we are migrating to Cameroon. You hear some people begin to say, what about my family? What about all this wealth? What about my friends? What about my children? It was difficult on the companion. You need to understand that. That is why I'm bringing an example. Is it not just to come and attend programs? Some people will be with their wife in the house. They cannot come out. You think that that kind of person will not tell that person to come, let us go and do migration? I need to bring this example for you to know how difficult it is for the companions to leave all that they have behind and migrate. Look at somebody like Suhaib al-Rumi. Suhaib al-Rumi radiallahu anhu, he is a companion of the Prophet sallallahu alayhi wasallam. When he was migrating from Mecca to Medina, he was a rich man. He is not even from Mecca. He is from Roman. That is why they said Suhaib al-Rumi. Al-Rumi from Roman. But he accepted Islam in Mecca. When Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam, when he gave command that people should start migrating to Medina, that is going to be the base of Islam. Suhaib al-Rumi, he started migrating. He started his migration. While on his way, the touts of Mecca, the hooligans of Mecca, the bandits of Mecca, they attacked Suhaib al-Rumi. And they told him that you cannot be allowed to live just like that. You came to Mecca with nothing and you became rich because of our support. You became a millionaire. You become a wealthy person in Mecca. Now you want to carry all your wealth and leave to Medina. We won't allow you. Suhaib al-Rumi now told them that you know You people know that I am one who knows how to throw arrow very well. And I have in my quiver a lot of arrows. And I will make sure that I unleash this arrow on you people, and you know I hardly miss targets. And after I have finished unleashing it on you people, I will bring out my sword, and you know I am a good swordman. Before you people will be able to defeat me, I must have cleared a good number of you. But instead of that, you should go back. Instead of you people said, I came to make money. Yes, I make money. But go back to social location. My wealth is there. Take it and leave me. Let me migrate with nothing. They said, we are not in need of your dead body. If you like, go to Medina. We are only in need of your wealth. So they left and they took the wealth of Suhaib al-Rumi. And Suhaib al-Rumi, he migrated to Medina in order to go and aid Islam. In order to go and aid Islam. Just imagine that you have built house, a mansion, and because of Islam, you are now being instructed to leave. That is why many of us, if we are in the time of the Prophet Islam, we will disbelieve. I'm telling you. We say, what am I going to do with my house? Carry it, put for head now. They say you should migrate, you are talking about your house. Your house is gone now. The mushrikun will take it. That is how this jihad was difficult upon the companions of the Prophet sallallahu alayhi wasallam. He said, وَلَا يَدُرُونَ إِلَىٰ أَيْنَ مَصِيرَهُمْ. And they do not even know where they are heading to. Some of them had to, employ a guide to be able to what? To take them to where they are heading to Medina, because they do not know the way. It's just like you have been told now that, okay, all the brothers and sisters, everybody should migrate to Cameroon. Some people will say, is it the other way or the other way? Many people here, you do not even know where Nigeria border with Cameroon. Some people now, if you ask them that, okay, we are going to Cameroon, they will follow Kano and be going. And they will never reach Cameroon if they follow Kano. Which side is Cameroon? If you want to go to Cameroon, which side? Brothers, which side? You need to study geography. Which side? Okay, Bonny State. So you need to know about all these. You need to know about geography. You understand? So some of them did not know. Some of them had to lost on the road. They missed the road. Even when Rasulullah was going to Medina, he had to employ somebody to guide him. It was difficult on them. It was very difficult upon their soul. It was very difficult. Especially the one who is wealthy. The one who is wealthy and living in luxury or comfort. It was difficult for such kind of people. You know, for the one who is a bachelor, if they say, may they start going today, in fact, he will just carry one bag and say, oh yeah, let's go. That is how bachelor's life is very easy on this particular aspect. You understand? If you say, oh yeah, we are going to so place to go and preach, and we are going to spend 1 month there, he will just enter the room, take his, bag, say, oh yeah, Mala, let's go. But for the one who has big family, in fact, he will spend hours, he has not come out of the house. وَمَنْزِلَةٌ رَفِيعَةٌ مِثْلُ مُصْعَبْ بِنْ أُمَيْرٍ. It will be difficult upon those people who has rank, lofty rank, especially Mus'ab bin Umayr. Especially Mus'ab bin Umayr. كان شابا من أنعم قريش عيشا وأعطرهم. Mus'ab bin Umayr, he is one whom Allah Azza wa Jalla has blessed. He is a youth. Allah has favored him with a good life. He lives in a life of luxury. And his parents, they love him so much. And his mother used to clothe him with the best of clothing. In fact, the perfume that Musa bin Umair will use in Mecca, nobody amongst the people of Mecca will use that kind of perfume. It is the perfume that kings from different empires normally use. That is the perfume they buy for Musa bin Umair. He was pampered. The kind of shoe that Musa bin Umair used to wear is an imported shoe. Musa bin Umair is not just a common human being. But when the guidance of Islam came, Musa bin Umair, he accepted Islam. وَكَانَ رَسُولُ اللَّهِ صَلَّى اللَّهُ عَلَيْهِ وَسَلَّمْ يَذْكُرُهُ. Rasulullah Islam used to what? He used to remember him, and he will say, مَا رَأَيْتُ بِمَكَّةَ أَحْسَنُ اللُّمَّةِ وَلَا أَرْقُ هُلَّةَ وَلَا أَنْأَمُ النِّئِمَةِ مِنْ مُصْعَبْ بِنْ عُمَيْرٍ. He said, I have never seen in Makkah one who has best gathering more than Mus'ab bin Umair. One who has the best of clothing, expensive clothes, more than Mus'ab bin Umair. One who has been favored with luxury, more than Mus'ab bin Umair. This was the condition he was living in Mecca. But what happened to him when he went to Medina? His condition changed completely. All of this enjoyment that Musa bin Umair was enjoying, it turns out to a life of roughness for him. Because he had to sacrifice all of that in order to migrate. His mother told him, if you want to still be a follower of Muhammad, then you have to leave this. And he said he agreed. He said, حتى وصل الأمر إلى أنهم لم يجدوا صوبا يكفنونه به. His matter reaches the level that he do not even have clothes. After Musa bin Umair was martyred in the battle of whom? In the battle of Uhud, Musa bin Umair did not have clothes that they used to shroud him. We have mentioned that before. That Sayyidina Musa bin Umair, he was killed on this battle of Uhud, and they could not get something to what? To shroud him, illa namratun, except just a piece of clothes. Kunna iza ghattayna rijlayhi haraja ra'sam. If they cover the leg, then the head will be opened. Fa amarana Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wasallam. The Prophet Islam now commanded that his head should rather be covered, while as for the leg, they should use leaf to cover it. This is how difficult it was for Musa bin Umair. He sacrificed all that he was enjoying in Makkah. But today what happened? Rather we sacrifice Islam to enjoy. We do the opposite. We prefer to live a life of enjoyment. It doesn't matter whether our Islam is gone, even though it is only the emblem that could be seen on our face. It is so easy for us to betray Islam in order to what? To gain favor. وَكَذَلِكَ يَتَجَلَّ صَعُوبَةُ هَذَا النَّوْعِ مِنَ الْجِهَادِ. This particular jihad al-hijri, jihad of migration, it was so difficult on the companions that when they came to Medina, they were falling sick. As a result of the fact that they came into a land that is strange to them. And you know, some people, whenever they go to a strange land that they have never been before, some people used to have that sickness. And Medina at that time, there was a disease that was affecting Medina at that time. It affected them. Epidemic disease. It affected them. To the point that Bilal bin Rabah was now singing and he was crying, lamenting because they were missing Makkah. They were missing Makkah, but they have to be in Medina. It was not easy for them to leave Makkah and leave everything and come to Medina. This is a total stranger. Total stranger. You that was controlling how many millions before, you are now nothing. Your account is reading zero because you could not bring your wealth to the place you migrated to. Bilal bin Rabah began to sing. He said, Ala layta shi'ri, hal abituna layla, biwadin wa hawli, izharun wa jalili, wa hal aridna yawman miyahu mujannatun, wa hal yabduna li shamatun wa tufayl. Bilal bin Rabah began to say, how I wish that I could spend, even if it is only one night in Makkah. I wish I could only spend one night in Makkah. They were missing Makkah. They were longing to see Makkah. That I wish I can be in Makkah, that will surround me, leaves will surround me, trees will surround me. Said, I wish I could drink from the lakes of Makkah, from the water of Makkah, the water of Mujannah. This was the song that Bilal bin Rabah was singing when Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam, before that, Summa Yaqul, Bilal bin Rabah now begin to say, as a result of what he was passing through, he now begin to curse the leaders of Makkah. Allahumma al'an Utba ibn Rabi'a, Allahumma al'an Shaybah ibn Rabi'a, Allahumma al'an Umayyah ibn Halab. He begin to curse them. Now, oh Allah, curse Utba ibn Rabi'a, curse Shaybah ibn Rabi'a. Place your curse on Umayyah ibn Halab, because they have driven us away from our home to this land that is with epidemic. But today we see those people who are claimant of Salafiyah saying that we should not cause those people who have put us into abject poverty, that you should not cause them. Why won't we cause them? When Bilal bin Rabah was cursing them, we ask Allah Azza wa Jalla, may his cause be upon all the people who are putting Muslims into difficulties. ولما رأى رسول الله صلى الله عليه وسلم ما هم عليه من معاناة شدة الغربة, when Rasulullah sallam saw the situation that they were suffering, he now began to pray. The Prophet began to pray for them. He said, Allahumma habbib ilayna al-Madina kahubbina Makkah aw ashad, wa sahhiha wa barik lana fi sa'iha wa muddiha wanqal hummaha faj'alha bil juhfa. The Prophet begin to pray, oh Allah, make them love Medina. Make us to love Medina, just the same way we love Makkah. In fact, we should love Medina more than Makkah. And that is why they later love Medina, to the point that even after Islam has conquered Makkah, they don't wish to return to Makkah. Rasulullah still returned to Medina after the conquer of Makkah, to the point that even after his death, his dead body is still in Medina up to today. Abu Bakr's body is still in Medina up to today. Sayyidina Umar's body is still in Medina up to today. They love Medina. They later love Medina as a result of this dua. Then the Prophet prayed that, oh Allah, bless this particular land. Make sure that the fever that they are contacting, oh Allah, take it away from them and throw it in another land. And Allah Azza wa Jalla accepted the dua. This is the second stage of jihad. Which stage are we? You understand? Somebody has not climbed first step. You want to rush to the last step. Huh? Which stage are we? This is the second stage, you remember. Now let's now go to the third stage. The third stage is Al-Jihadul Madani. That is the jihad that was done in Medina. هذه المرحلة من الجهاد لها ثلاث مراتب. This jihad in Medina, it has three subcategories. The first one is jihad bil hujja wal bayan wa tabligh al Quran. That is the one that you have to preach, you know, take the Quran to them, like Musa bin Umayr radiallahu anhu. He went to Medina and he was teaching them the Quran. Then it night. Then Allah Azza wa Jalla, He is now legislated jihad bil qital, jihad of fighting, physical combat. Iznan la ujuban. Iznan la ujuban. He gave them permission.
وَلَيَنْصُرَنَّ اللَّهَ مَنْ يَنْصُرُهُ إِنَّ اللَّهَ لَقَوِيٌّ عَزِيزٌ.
Allah Azza wa Jalla, He mentioned in Suratul Hajj, Allah Azza wa Jalla said that Uzina lilladhina yuqataluna. Permission has been given to those people who have been fought. They were fighting the believers, fighting them to the point that Allah said He don't do. He gave them permission to respond. So when you are fighting somebody, they will reach a point whereby Allah Azza wa Jalla will inspire him. He don't do. Allah will tell you today why He gave that permission. He said that بِأَنَّهُمْ ظُلِمُوا, because they have been oppressed. وَإِنَّ اللَّهَ عَلَى نَصْرِهِمْ لَقَدِيرٌ. And certainly Allah Azza wa Jalla, He is competent in supporting the believers. الَّذِينَ أُخْرِجُوا مِنْ دِيَارِهِمْ. Who are you going to fight? Those are the people who have driven you away from your home. بِغَيْرِ حَقٍّ, without any justification. Allah Azza wa Jalla said, إِلَّا أَنْ يَقُولُ رَبُّنَا اللَّهُ. Except the fact that you say, our Lord is Allah. That was their justification. That was the reason why they are fighting you. Allah now said, وَلَوْلَا دَفُعُ اللَّهِ النَّاسَ بَعْضُهُمْ بِبَعْضٍ. If Allah Azza wa Jalla were not to checkmate some people over another people, if Allah Azza wa Jalla were not to use some people to checkmate other people, what would have happened? لَهُدِمَتْ صَوَامِ وَبِيَعٌ وَصَلَوَاتٌ وَمَسَاجِدٌ يُذْكَرُ فِيهَا اسْمُ اللَّهِ كَثِيرًا. You would have seen that the monasteries, the churches, the synagogues, the masajid in which the houses, the zikr of Allah is being mentioned, you would have seen that people will be destroying it. So Allah Azza wa Jalla is saying that He is using some people to checkmate others. And that is why I continue to say that if you keep mouth shut to aggression, to oppression, and you allow it on the basis of peace, you allow it to reign, a time will come, the oppressors, they will spill blood, they will destroy properties. In fact, they will be killing the friends of Allah Azza wa Jalla. So Allah Azza wa Jalla, He has set some people to checkmate them. And that is the essence of jihad. Else they are going to destroy. So Allah Azza wa Jalla now said, وَلَيَنْصُرَنَّ اللَّهُ مَنْ يَنْصُرُهُ إِنَّ اللَّهَ لَقَوِيٌّ عَزِيزٌ. Allah Azza wa Jalla will give victory to the one who supports His deen. May Allah Azza wa Jalla grant us victory.
Amen.
And Allah Azza wa Jalla qawiyyun. He is very powerful. Allah is strong. So nobody should play with Allah. You might see that the people you are going into their problem, they are very little people. How many are they? That is what Quraysh thought. And they mobilized more than 1,000 to come and fight only 313 people when Allah gave this permission. And what happened? It became a history that 313 people, they defeated more than 1,000 people. That is the battle of Badr. So Allah Azza wa Jalla gave permission in the second degree. Now the third degree, Al-Qitalu Wujuban, that was the last stage. Allah Azza wa Jalla gave permission, not only permission, He made it compulsory to wage jihad. This time around, it is not business as usual. In fact, the Muslims have already gotten power. So we are the one that is now taking the fight to them, the oppressors. That was when Allah Azza wa Jalla said, Ya ayyuhalladhina amanu, kutiba alaykumul qital, wa huwa kurhul lakum, wa asa an takrahu shay'an, wa huwa khairul lakum, wa asa an tuhibbu shay'an, wa huwa sharrul lakum, wallahu ya'lamu, wa antum la ta'lamun. Allah Azza wa Jalla said, kutiba alaykumul qital. Just the same way Allah said, kutiba alaykumus siyam. That Allah has made it compulsory, wajib upon you to fight. Although you detest it, nobody likes fighting. Even me sitting down, I don't like fighting. Everybody hates fighting. Because when you fight, they can break your teeth. You now have open teeth. unnecessary upon it, you know. But Allah Azza wa Jalla said, وَعَسَىٰ أَن تَكْرَهُ شَيْئًا وَهُوَ خَيْرٌ لَكُمْ. Some fight, some things you hate it, but it is the best for you. Why some things you love it, but it is the worst for you, it is bad for you. Allah knows and you know nothing. I am telling you, some fight, it is better you do the fight, else you become mugu, that people will now be matching you. Sometimes you have to say, I no go agree. Do you understand? Because if you were to shut up and be doing mumology, they will control you and do your mumu finish. Do you understand? If not that people know Ahlul Sunnah to be people who actually understood jihad, they would have finished us. But they know that we also understood jihad, and there is a point you can push us to, we will have to what? We will have to revenge. Yes, it is in our Islam. So that is the third stage. So وَبِذَلِكَ نَعْلَمُ أَنَّ الْكِتَالُ بِالْمَدِينَةِ لَمْ يَكُنْ مَمْنُوعًا يَوْمًا مِنَ الْأَيَّامِ. We have seen from this that jihad in Medina, there was no day it was prohibited. This is what is authentic from the Aqwalul Ulama. Imam Shafi'i, rahmatullah alayhi, he said, وَلَمَّا مَدَتْ لِرَسُولِ اللَّهِ صَلَّى اللَّهُ عَلَيْهِ وَسَلَّمَ مُدَّةٌ مِنْ هِجْرَتِهِ أَنْعَمَ اللَّهُ تَعَالَى عَلَى جَمَاعَةِ بِإِتِّبَاعِهِ. He said, when the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam migrated from Mecca to Medina, after some time, the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam was blessed with a lot of followers. The whole of Medina was on the palm of the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam. This was somebody who migrated with nothing, but he became the leader, the supreme leader of Medina. And when he tells his followers to move, they will move. حَدَّثَتْ لَهُمْ بِهَا مَا عَوْنِ اللَّهِ قُوَّةً بِالْعَدَدِ. Then Allah Azza wa Jalla, by his assistance, he blessed him with power and numbers. لَمْ تَكُنْ قَبْلَهَا, that has not been given to him before. فَفَرَضَ اللَّهُ تَعَالَى عَلَيْهِمُ الْجِهَادِ أي الْقِتَالِ. Allah Azza wa Jalla now made it compulsory on him to perform jihad. بَعْدَ إِذْ كَانَ إِبَاحَةٌ لَا فَرْضٌ. After it was given as a permission to him, before it become obligatory. That is why in the Battle of Badr, if you notice, if you read the Battle of Badr, not all of the companions went to the Battle of Badr. If not, it's just 313. They only moved out in order to what? In order to attack the caravan of Abu Sufyan. But it turns out to be a very great battle. So that is why Allah Azza wa Jalla said, كُتِبَ عَلَيْكُمُ الْقِتَالِ وَهُوَ كُرْهٌ لَكُمْ. Allah has made qital, fighting, compulsory upon you. So we have seen the 3 stages of jihad in Islam. So when you find yourself in any of these situations that the Prophet Islam finds himself, you do exactly what the Prophet Islam does or did in that particular situation. I hope you are getting it. If you are in a situation where you are weak, do not behave as if you are in a situation where you are strong. If you are in a situation where you have to be gentle and be calculating, do not behave as if you already have Khuzaymah rahmatullah alayhi, he said that the Muslims, you will see them having sakakin. You know sakakin, that was the first place I learned that word. He said Muslims have sakakin, that is knife. Just because only you are the only person that even have one knife. Not as if everybody now has the knife. You are now coming and telling us, gingering us that we should go for jihad. Are we going to jihad with blades? You understand? Only you. It's only you that have one sakakin, only one knife. And what are you even using knife to go and do? Some people's knife is not even sharp, myself. If you use the knife on what's it called? On a chicken, the chicken will just shake him bum and be going. Some people's knife, if you use it to slaughter cow, the cow will stand up and be going. Because their knife is not even sharp. And this is the knife you want to use for jihad. So you must have the strength, you must have the number before you go to the last stage. So we have to beware. May Allah Azza wa Jalla, may He grant us success. May Allah Azza wa Jalla grant us understanding of this concept of jihad. So that somebody will not just corner you in one angle. Corner you in one angle and begin to tell you that, look, it is jihad, you know, you have to stand up now. Tell him that make it a go, you they come. Yes, because he doesn't understand. Wallahi, many people are just mixing up things. I was calling somebody this evening, and the person was quoting a hadith of the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam, that the Prophet ﷺ said that the blood of a Muslim should not be spilled except in three categories. And the last one is the one at-tariku dinihi, the one who leave the religion, wal-mufarriqu lil-jama'ah, and he is now what? He is now scattering the jama'ah. So the person now believe that since I have lived a particular jama'ah of his, so my blood is now halal for him to take. Come and take it now. I'm sure when you are bringing your own blood, when you are coming to come and take my blood, you will not leave your blood in the house. I was now asking him, who taught you this? Who is teaching people this rubbish? And they claim that they are sunnah, they are the best sunnah. So somebody leave your group now. Is the person the Prophet is talking about in that hadith? Is it the person the Prophet is talking about? This is how they are killing Muslims. Killing Muslims because that person has left your group. How many people have left this group? Some people will even say that because of this your behavior, we don't want you. Go, please. Because you give us trouble. And we will still meet on the road. We will give each other salam. Didn't we give salam just now? We will ask about each other's welfare. Which of the religion is teaching people this? That when somebody leaves your group, then that person has to be fought. When you see such kind of group, run away from such kind of group because it's a devilish group. It has become cultism. How can you say that it is only your group that will gain Jannah? Wallah, I used to tell you people that there are people in this village, they are even more closer to Allah than you people that are coming to this masjid. Don't believe that because you are coming to Ahlus Sunnah Masjid, so you are the overall. When Allah is marking register, your name is in the front. Who told you? Allah Azza wa Jalla, He sees what is in your heart and your work. Who told you? Allah Azza wa Jalla knows who fears Him. You can be here and you are deceiving us. But can you deceive Allah? Somebody will be outside here and he's sincere to Allah Azza wa Jalla. Who is better? So, unfortunately, you gather people and you do not teach them, and they take a wrong understanding of Islam, and they will be looking for who to kill. Come and kill us now. We are in Abuja. Now, let's quickly talk about another problem regarding jihad. Unfortunately, today they have divided jihad into Jihadul Asghar and Jihadul Akbar. They said there is lesser jihad and there is a greater jihad. He said, أخطر ما أصيب به الجهاد في تاريخه من النقصة تقسيمه إلى جهاد أكبر وأصغر. The greatest affliction that has happened to jihad in the history of Islam, the greatest setback that has afflicted the Muslims is the division of jihad into Jihadul Akbar and Jihadul Asghar, the lesser jihad and the greater jihad. وَقَدِيمًا أَرَّفَ أَعْدَاءُ الْإِسْلَامِ خُطُورَةُ الْجِهَادِ عَلَيْهِمْ. He said in the olden days, the enemies of Islam, they knew the danger of jihad against them. They knew that the Muslims, they have this concept of jihad. For that reason, they were scared of the Muslims. Not the sheep that we have now. وَأَنَّهُ لَا بَقَاءَ لَهُمْ مَعَ بَاطِلُهُمْ. And they knew that there is no space for them. They are not going to survive with their falsehood so long as the Muslims perform jihad. The reason why falsehood is reigning in the world today is because the Muslims stop performing jihad. The moment you keep your mouth shut, evil is passing, and you don't want to talk about it, it will continue to gain strength. It will continue to gain strength. The Prophet ﷺ said, a time will come, the greatest person among the Muslims will be the one whom the man and a woman is fornicating in front of the masjid. Then the imam will now want to pray. He now say, please, sorry, we want to pray. Can you move to the other side so that we can pray here? Can you see that kind of humiliation? He cannot stop them not to do it, but he said, please, I beg, we are only begging. Please, while we are about to pray. Is that not what we are now? That is how we are now. That is how we are. We have become second-class citizens as a result of what? Living jihad. وَعَرَفُوا أَنَّ الْمُسْلِمِينَ إِذَا أَعْلَنُوا الْجِهَادِ بِصَوْتٍ وَاحِدٍ وَهَرَّجُوا بِإِسْمِ اللَّهِ وَعَلَى بَرَكَةِ اللَّهِ لَمْ تَكُنْ أَمَامَهُمْ قَائِمًا. And they knew that if the Muslims, if they were to announce jihad with one voice, and they step out with the name of Allah Azza wa Jalla and with the blessing of Allah, there is nothing that will be able to what? That will be able to resist them, that will be able to stop them in their front. They knew. The enemies of Islam, they knew this. لأنهم طلبوا إحدى الحسنيين. That is because they know that the Muslims are only seeking for one out of two goodness. If you are going for jihad, you are only looking for one out of two. You are looking for one out of two. Either Nasr, either Allah grants you victory over your enemy, or what? Or Shahada, or Matayado. That you are killed in the path of Allah Azza wa Jalla is still a win for you. I know I already told you, the day you will die cannot be reversed. وَلَنْ يُؤَخِّرَ اللَّهُ نَفْسًا إِذَا جَاءَ أَجَلُهَا. So talking about jihad will not make Allah say, you would have died 2030, so we are going to die 2024. No. Wallahu nasiruhum wa mumidduhum. Allah Azza wa Jalla will what? He will support them. He will grant them victory. Arafu zalika kulluhu min as-safahat salaf hadhihi al-ummah. The enemies of Islam, they are learning our history. They knew all of this from the pages of history. Go to internet. They are the one who even have the files of the jihad that has been happening right from time. The Muslims cannot even go and read it. حينما فتحوا نصف قرة العالم في أقل من نصف قرن. At the time when the Muslims were courageous enough and they were participating in jihad, waging jihad, and Allah Azza wa Jalla grant them victory, they were ruling half of this whole universe. The whole world divided into two. It was the Muslims that take one half of it. Just in half of century. Half of century. What is the meaning of half of century? That is, in just 50 years, the Muslims were already ruling half of the world because they were waging jihad. ومن هنا بدأوا يفكرون لحل هذه المشكلة العويصة الرهيبة وجدوا واجتهدوا. These enemies of Islam, they now sit down, they begin to think that this is a problem. These people they love jihad. We need to find solution to this problem. They were making research. After everything, they found so many solutions. So many solutions. They begin to apply it so that they can turn the Muslims away from jihad in a way that the Muslim will not even know. What did they do? وَجَلَسُوا عَلَى مَوَائِدُهُمْ يَأْكُلُونَ وَيَشْرَبُونَ أَمِينِينَ مُطْمَئِنِينَ وَاسْتَرَهُ مِنَ الْجِهَادِ. So that the Muslim will now sit on their table the way we sit now, will now be drinking, eating the best of food, will now leave jihad. وَاسْتَوْلَ عَلَى الْبِلَادِ وَاسْتَبْعَدُ الْإِبَادِ. So that they will now come and capture the land of the Muslims and enslaved us. He said this particular part which they have turned the Muslims away from jihad, وَقَذِلَّهِ لِمُدَّةُ الطَّوِيلَةِ. They made us so humiliated for a very long period of time up to today. Here, Taqsimul Jihad ila Asghar wa Akbar is the division of jihad into what? Into Jihad al-Akbar, that is the greater jihad, and Jihad al-Asghar, the lesser jihad. They now said, al-Jihad al-Asghar, Mujahadatul Kufar. The lesser jihad is fighting the disbelievers. Wal Jihad al-Akbar, Mujahadatul Nafs wa Shaitan. They said the greater jihad is fighting your soul and fighting the devil. Wa haulai al-a'da azkiya. These enemies of Islam, they are so what? Intelligent. يَعْرِفُونَ أَنَّ النَّفْسُ وَالشَّيْطَانِ لَا يَتَحَلَّصُ مِنْهُمَ الْإِنسَانِ. They knew that the soul and also your conscience and also shaitan, there is no way anybody is going to be free from them. You can never be free from shaitan. If you like, fight till you die. Shaitan will continue fighting you. Shaitan will never be tired. They knew it. وَهَوْلَيْ لَعَدَى Sorry, مَادَامَ هَيًّا يُرْزَقُ. So long as you are alive, Shaitan will always be there, fighting you. What did he now do? وَأَطَوْهُ وَزِيفَةٌ تَشْغُلُهُ عَنِ الْجِهَادِ مُدَّةٌ بَقَائِهِ فِي هَذِهِ الْحَيَاةِ. So he now give, the enemies of Islam now give us work. He now give us duty to be doing. So long as you are in this dunya, he now give you duty to be doing that. The greatest jihad is Shaitan. So they left their sword and they go back to fighting Shaitan. وَوَضَعُوا لَهُ فِي ذَلِكَ حَدِيثًا مَكْذُوبًا عَلَى رَسُولِ اللَّهِ. They did not stop that. They now what? Concocted a hadith, a lie, fabricated hadith upon the Prophet ﷺ, because they know that the Muslims love the Messenger of Allah so much. They knew how the Muslims love, the Messenger's love is in the heart of the Muslims. And they begin to quote the hadith that رَجَعَنَا مِنَ الْجِهَادِ الْأَصْغَرِ إِلَى جِهَادِ الْأَكْبَرِ. There is a hadith, they introduce it like that. They now put it inside the book of the Muslims. They put this hadith there. That the Prophet said, we have returned from Jihad al-Asghar. After the Prophet left from the came back from the battlefield, he said, we have come back from the lesser jihad to the greater jihad. When the Prophet was asked, what is the greater jihad? He said, Jihad al-Nafs. Fighting your soul, fighting your conscience, fighting your shaitan. This is a fabricated hadith. This particular وَلَمَّا وَجَدَهُ أَهُونَ الْمِسْكِينَ الْمَغْبُونَ فِي دِينِهِ. When they see that our brothers, our Muslim brethren, they are now far away of researching their deen. قَالَ إِذَا كَانَ مُجَاهَدَةُ النَّفْسِ وَالشَّيْطَانُ جِهَادًا أَكْبَرَ. They now begin to say that if fighting shaitan and your soul is jihad akbar, then فَمَاذَا أَصْنَعْ بِجِهَادِ الْأَصْغَرِ. What are we in need of jihad al-asghar? They said this one is the greater jihad. What do you need small jihad for? I don't know whether you understand that. فَأَخَذَ سُبْحَتَهُ طَوِيلًا. They now carry their big tisbah. فَأَخَذَ سُبْحَتَهُ الطَّوِيلًا. They bring their long tisbah. They don't give them long tisbah. وَدَعَلَ صَوْمَعَتِهِ. They now enter their what? Their halwa, their cave, their place of worship. يُعْبَدُ رَبَّهُ يَعْبُدُ رَبَّهُ. They begin to worship Allah. بِمُجَاهَدَةُ هَوَاهُ وَشَيْطَانُ. They were now worshiping Allah and fighting their hawa and shaitan. And the people that they actually they were able to deceive more is the Sufi people. Sufi people. They are the one that carry this hadith more than anybody. He said, وَلَرُبَّمَ بَعْضَهُمُ الَّذِي لَمْ يَزَلْ خَيْرًا فِيهِ يَنْوِي فِي نَفْسِ الْجِهَادِ الْأَصْغَرِ. He said, some of them that Allah Azza wa Jalla still wish good for, they were hoping that if after they have defeated Shaitan in this Jihad Akbar, then they will now go back to Jihad Asghar. But this is a jihad. The jihad they are going is everlasting. You will continue to fight Shaitan. There will never be a time you will say that as for now, I have already finished the fight with Shaitan. And in fact, there is no hadith such as this. This particular hadith, لَيْسَ لَهُ وُجُودُ فِي الْكُتُبُ الْحَدِيثِيَّةِ إِطْلَاقًا. This particular hadith, you will never find it in Sahih Bukhari. You will not find it in Sahih Muslim, Sunan Abu Dawud. All of the book of hadith you know, you will not find this hadith there. But unfortunately, the people of Sufi, they carry this hadith more than anything. Is this the first time you people are hearing this hadith? This particular hadith is a fabricated hadith upon the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam. Sanadan wa matnan. It is fabricated upon the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam. Because of time, because I wanted to actually talk about how this hadith is fabricated. But we can actually make research on that to assist me as well. One thing we must know is that as far as jihad is concerned, there is nothing compared to jihad al-qital. You understand? The Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam was asked, "Ma yu'addilu al-jihad fi sabilillah?" What is equivalent to fighting in the path of Allah? The Prophet said, "La tastati'unahu." You will not be able to do it. He now asked him again, "Please tell us." The Prophet said, "You will not be able to do it." He still asked the Prophet again, "Please tell us, which work can somebody do that its reward is equivalent to jihad? Jihad al-qital." Then the Prophet now said, "Masalul mujahid fi sabilillah kamasal sa'imul qa'imul qanit." That the example of a mujahid in the path of Allah is like the example of one who is fasting every time and also standing to pray and is devoted. Bi ayatillah la yufattiru min salatihi. He continued to pray all the time, up to the time that mujahid went out. You are standing praying and you did not stop. La yufattir. You did not become tired. Min salatihi. Wala siyam hatta yarji'ul mujahid fi sabilillah. You will not stop praying, you will not stop fasting until the mujahid returns back to Allah, you return back to the house. Another time, the Prophet was asked, "Guide me to a work which if I do, that it will not be equivalent to jihad." The Prophet said, "La ajidu," I could not find it. The first hadith I quoted is a Muslim. This one I'm quoting now is in Sahih Bukhari. Then they asked him again, "Please tell us, the statue is a haraj al-mujahid." The Prophet now responded to him that, "Do you have the ability, if the mujahid step out to go and fight in the battlefront, and tadhula masjidu, that you should enter your masjid, fatakumu, you start praying, wala tufattir, and you do not become tired, watasumu wa tuftir, and you will continue fasting and breaking, fasting and breaking." Faqala wa man yastati'u zalika. Then they are, who will have power to do that kind of thing? So if somebody do not have power, somebody is now saying that there is something just for you to go and sit down and be doing tisbah, ya latif, is more than going to jihad. That it is in that ya latif, they will come and scatter you and finish you. He says you go and defend, somebody is attacking your home, go and defend, you sit down and be doing ya latif. In fact, the last hadith which I actually wish to quote here now is the hadith. He said that wa fil hadith al-ahar nusu sari ala butlan ma yazumunahu min al-jihad al-akbar. He said another hadith, the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam was asked that is there anything anyone can do that is equivalent to jihad? The Prophet now said it. He said, فَإِنَّ مَقَامُ أَحَدِكُمْ فِي سَبِيلِ اللَّهِ. The position of one who fights in the path of Allah, أَفْضَلُ مِنْ صَلَاتِهِ مِنْ بَيْتِهِ سَبِئِينَ آمًا, is better than the one who pray in his house for 70 years. Then he now said, "Ala tuhibuna an yaghfirallahu lakum." Won't you want Allah Azza wa Jalla to forgive you? Wa yadkhulukumul jannah, so that Allah will admit you into Jannah. Uguzu fi sabilillah. Fight in the path of Allah. Man qatala fi sabilillah fawaqanaqa wajabat lahu al-jannah. Allahu Akbar. The Prophet ﷺ said, whoever fights in the path of Allah, even as little, the period he fights is the period that, you know, when you are making a camel, you put a bucket, that particular space from the bucket to the breast of the camel, you see that space, only that period you fight in the path of Allah Azza wa Jal. The Prophet said, whoever fights only that period, wajabat lahul jannah. Allah Azza wa Jalla, he will make Jannah compulsory, that he will enter Jannah. So do you now see the falsehood of those people who claim that jihad, all this jihad they are talking about is jihad al-asghar, but rather jihad al-akbar is for you to be fighting shaitan. Yes, you fight shaitan, but don't say it is jihad al-akbar. After all, shaitan, you start fighting shaitan right from the onset. And that devil, that fight, it will never finish. But don't call it jihad al-akbar, because there is no evidence for such. There is nothing you can do that is equivalent to what? Jihad al-qital. As we have already seen it in many ahadith of the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam. This is the little that we can say regarding jihad. The concept of jihad is a wide topic. We only try to summarize so that we can return back to our Suratul Ahzab. I am sure we have learned a lot of lessons on what is jihad, what are the benefits of jihad, the necessity of jihad, what are the levels, the stages of jihad. And we have also talked lastly on the issue of what taqsimul jihad ila jihad al-akbar wa jihad al-asghar. And we have said that hadith that came, it is actually fabricated, but we do not have time to talk about it in detail. So if you want to read about jihad, you take the book. There are so many books that has been written regarding jihad. Take them and read them. Take them and read them. Most scholars have written books on jihad. For example, Ibn Nuhas wrote a book on the concept of jihad. Up to today, many scholars continue to write books on the concept of jihad. Take your book and read them so that somebody will not come and sell a devilish idea to you and you will now accept it. And so that you will not also begin to say that there is no jihad again. If there is no jihad again, why are we now saying Allahumma ansurul mujahideen fi kulli makan? Where are those mujahideen? Are they spirits? We ask Allah Azza wa Jalla, may He grant us success, and may Allah Azza wa Jalla, may He forgive our shortcomings. May Allah continue to grant us beneficial knowledge. Wherever we have said in this particular topic that is not it, is from me and my deficiency and from shaitan. We ask Allah Azza wa Jalla to bless us with beneficial knowledge. And whatever I have said that is right is from Allah Azza wa Jalla. May Allah Azza wa Jalla reward all of us abundantly and make it easy for us to practice whatever we have learned. Subhanaka Allahumma wa bihamdik ashhadu an la ilaha illa anta astaghfiruka wa atubu ilayk. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.